Please welcome Dana L. Cox.
You wake up every morning and you pour love into everyone. Your partner, your kids, your family, your friends, your employees. You encourage them, you defend them, you lift them up. You would never allow them to tear themselves down. Not them, not anyone. But when you look at yourself in the mirror, the voice you use with yourself sounds nothing like the voice you use with them. You notice every line in your face, especially the new ones. Everything that doesn't look the way it used to or the way you would like it to. You criticize yourself. And then you step into the world and accept the bare minimum from everyone. All while telling everyone else how brilliant and beautiful and amazing they are. But then you wonder why you continue to prioritize everyone else's needs over your own. You can't prioritize yourself if you've forgotten how to love yourself or never learned how to in the first place. This was a life I knew very well. For years, I played many roles. You see, I'm a mother of 7. Yes, 7. I was a wife, the dependable one, the steady one, the person that everyone counted on. I knew how to show up, how to carry weight, how to hold space, how to pour into others until there was absolutely nothing left. But loving myself, that felt unfamiliar, almost indulgent. Then this thing called life. Life does what it tends to do. It exposed what I had avoided. I lost a job, one that came with a title, good money, real good money, and an identity that people admired. But when that disappeared, something else did also. The invitations slowed, the check-ins faded, and I realized something painful but clarifying. Some people hadn't loved or cared about me. They loved the role that I played in their lives. And when I was no longer the strong one, the provider, the fixer, the reliable yes, they didn't know what to do with me because they had not known me, only the version of me that served them. That was sobering. And it was a truth that I needed. That moment led to a deeper question. If every version of me exists for the comfort of others, does the real me get to exist at all? That question haunted me. Didn't have an answer for a long time. But what I learned is this. The roles that we play don't come from who we are. They come from who we're taught to be. By family, by culture, by workplaces that praise our sacrifice and reward our silence. I was a caregiver, the steady one, the fixer, whatever they needed me to be. And I mastered every role. And every time I heard, I don't know what we'd do without you, I confused being needed with being loved. And that's the tragedy. If you've ever been to the symphony, you know this. In a symphony, everything works so beautifully together. Before the musicians could ever play together, they have to learn to play alone. They master their own instruments, their own sound, their own rhythm. But many of us, especially women, we're taught differently. We're taught to care for the needs of others before we ever learn to care for ourselves. We're thrown into the orchestra of life before we ever learn our own sound. We enter adulthood fluent in the needs of others, but illiterate in our own. That's not a character flaw. Nobody taught us. What I realized is self-love is not something that you feel. It is something that you choose. And when I realized that loving myself meant I could no longer abandon myself, the choice in front of me was unavoidable. It was the hardest and most honest choice of my life. I ended a marriage of 33 years. Not out of anger, but because staying meant abandoning myself all over again. Probably should have left sooner. I knew long before I was ready to act that something was wrong. But I thought about my kids. I thought about my family. I thought about my faith. And what everyone expected. And every time I prioritized their comfort over my truth, I abandoned myself. Now, I'm not saying ending a relationship is your answer. But I am asking, what are you avoiding because you're afraid of what it might cost? Once you understand how to love yourself, abandoning yourself becomes impossible. The world won't fall apart because you've chosen to love yourself. But you might stop falling apart. So here's my invitation to you. Don't worry, I'm not asking you to burn your life down or make some dramatic move tomorrow. But I am inviting you to pause. Listen to how you speak to yourself. Pay attention to where you prioritize everyone else at your own expense. And then ask yourself, am I playing this role because it's who I am, or because I'm afraid of what might be revealed if I stop? Loving yourself doesn't require a big decision. It requires a small, brave one. Saying no without explanation, resting without guilt, speaking the truth instead of keeping the peace. Whatever it looks like, know this. You are not here to keep earning love by what you fix, give, or hold together. You are here to live a life where you no longer abandon yourselves. So when someone asks me to perform, to fix, or rescue, I take a breath and I remember I've mastered my own instrument. I know my own sound now. And I get to choose when I play. I love them all, but I love me more. That's not selfish. It's self-love. And it's available for you too. Thank you.